Hi everyone. This video is to discuss the Present a Course tab, and why you would use it is if you were wanting to present a PD session for your school or for the district, and possibly if you have someone from outside the district that's coming to present a PD session for your school. It does take a few minutes. It's longer than the outside PD request, so you do want to have about 10 to 15 minutes so that you definitely have enough time to complete it. It's much easier to complete it in one setting than have to come back and pick up and add to this one. It's just a little bit more lengthy. So to get started, you would choose Present a Course. You would come over to Propose a Course and then New Instructor-Led Course. You would put the course title. I'm just going to name this Google because I pre-approved one yesterday. And I just named it Giggle for simplicity. In the course description, and again, everything with an asterisk has to be required, and we'll give you specific directions for those that don't have one. In the course description, I've already had something pre-typed. You're going to type a description of your session here, and it tells you here, include a short summary of the activity and the targeted audience. You're going to put who the targeted audience is, but also please put facilitator name, because when we get to the instructor part of the section details later, if it's not a teacher who's already added into the system, you won't be able to add that person as the facilitator. So if you would just put the name of the facilitator here in case you're entering this for somebody else, and I'll tell you what to do later on, how we'll handle that when we get to that section. So this is really all you have to type in this section. For office, you will leave this as Boyd County Public Schools. Credit hours, you do have to check this little box and make sure there's a check here, and then you're going to put the number of hours. It's optional if you want to put notes in here or not. You might want to type. You also have a note section in the section part of it, and that's normally where I leave my notes, like bring a device, or if you have specific instructions. You might want to put it in both places. That is totally up to you. This is a required course survey. And the option you always have to choose is required PD survey. This is the only option that you should choose there. You will always skip allow multiple sections of the same course. We are not doing that. If you're doing a 1, 2, and 3 part, you'll do one for each day. You'll come back and do another one for the next day, and you'll come back and do one for the next day. We are not doing multiple sections at this time. The next step would be to hit instructor-led course. We really recommend not using Save Draft. So click Create Instructor-Led Course. Then you're going to come over to the right, and by default, the only thing you'll really I guess use over here would be the availability, and that availability means who is the session going to be available to register for. So it's by default everybody in the district. So if you don't want everybody in the district to attend, you can click Set Locations, and you have the option of choosing by everyone in the district, which is what it's defaulted to. If you're only wanting to limit it to your school or a couple schools, you would come down immediately to Under District, check that, and click Remove That. Now you have no locations that this will show up for in the catalog. I'm just going to do this for the high school, so I would have to go up here and choose School, and then it opens up a school drop down. I would find the school or schools that I wanted to add, and you would add them one at a time. I'm going to choose Boyd County High School, and I'm going to click Add. And now down here, this will show up in the courses up here for only people that are at Boyd County High School. If I also wanted to include the middle school, I would just come up. I would add Boyd County Middle School. I would click the Add button, and down below it'll tell me that any teacher at Boyd County Middle School or Boyd County High School will be eligible to attend this PD session, and it would show up in the courses for them to see. I'm going to go ahead and remove the middle school just to reinforce how you could remove something if you accidentally selected. I would just select here. And now I have my targeted audience. I come over to the right and I click Done. I do not click Done here. I need to scroll down and now create the section details, kind of like the when and the where and all of that. So I'm going to put my section title. Again, whatever you named it is right here as a reminder. I'm just going to call it Google. You can put the location, room number. I'm going to put Boyd County High School Media Center. That kind of covers the location and the room number all together. The contact email is always going to be your email, as you're the person that's putting it in. Or if you're doing it for another teacher in your building, you could put that teacher's, but since you're the one setting it up, we want you to put your email. And as I'm talking, I'm typing the old thing, but I'm going to put my own email here because it is required. We recommend, unless if you have limited seating for some reason because of maybe devices or actual limited space in a room, that you always put 500 here. You will not need a wait list. You would come down to section start date. I'm going to do the 12th. The date is going to end on that same evening of the 12th. In registration date, we always want you to choose the end date of the session so that they can register the day of as well. I will not need a waitlist cutoff. The default time, my PD session will start at 5 p.m. So I just use the drop down arrows to select that time. Oh, a.m. That's a little early. I'm going to go to 7 p.m. because I requested 2 hours of PD credit. You will never use the release section at. You will just actually put your start and end time. Instructors not set. We'll do that in a moment. That's a separate step. So we're going to skip that and come back to that in a different section. Notes. This is where you could put bring a device or any other instructions that you would have. Helps if I could spell. And then if you needed to attach some kind of documentation or information for your attendees, you can do that here. I'm going to scroll down and I'm now ready to create. And then I have to scroll down again. And can you see here where it says no class time set? We still have to add our instructors and our class times. These are the only two tabs that we will complete of these 4. So we're going to come down to instructors. This is where we'll only allow somebody that's entered into the system, like a teacher or administrator in our district. So this is where if it's someone presenting from outside the district, you would still put your name here. You also have to use your IC name. For example, I go by Cindy Pontier. My real name is Cynthia. I'm Cynthia NIC. So I would have to search by Cynthia. I could have searched by Pontier. But I'm going to click Find User. And I'm going to act like I accidentally choose the wrong user. I'm going to choose Cynthia Sullivan. So if you accidentally put the wrong person, you would come down to the bottom. Down here is who you've added. I would click on it and remove the selected. It'll ask if you're sure you want to remove all instructors. I'm going to click OK. I'm going to come back up and I'm going to type Cynthia again, find user, and I'm going to select my correct name and add user. Now I'm down here as the instructor. So you may be entering this for another teacher in the school that's doing it. You may be the designated person by your principal or someone that does present a course. I'm not sure. There could be many reasons why you're not the instructor. If it's another teacher, you could find that teacher and put them in here. If it's somebody outside the district, again, you're going to put your name as the facilitator, and you would have put in the course description who the real facilitator is. This is a mandatory part that you have to add someone. So you would select your name, even though you may not be the actual presenter or facilitator, but you would have already told us that in the course description. So I'm going to move on. I'm going to hit done. And I still have no class time set. So I did the instructors, so now I'm going to go to class times. This is the last piece I have to do. And all you have to do is hit add a class time, because you had already put those in the course description, and it would just, it populates what you had previously put. So my 5 to 7 p.m. is here. And now I'm just going to save and exit the screen. And it takes me back to this main section. I don't do anything with View Roster or Manage Course. And now I click the Done button. Now it takes me back to the current projects. And I have one final step I have to do to submit this to Janice so that she can let me know if it's approved for our school or for to be facilitated at the district level. I click Submit for Review. You're about to submit this course for review. I click OK. And then I wait for Janice to approve it. So I've already pre-approved one named the exact same yesterday. Normally you would leave, come back. I'm going to go back to home. So we'll pretend like you've waited the next day or something. I'm going to come back in to present a course. And this time I would go to Approved Courses. And I would see if there's anything approved. And right here it would be Google, the status. I could view it, manage it, whatever I needed to do, make edit changes, and I can see that it has been approved. So that means that it will now be in the course catalog for people to register for. So once you get the approval, you can tell people in your school or let people know that they can go in and register. So I would go to Courses, Show All, and it would show in here for someone to register for. So that is how you use Present a Course. If you have any questions, you can